podcast.
There you go. So, any questions, comments? Or you guys remember where we last left off?
I'm trying to remember where exactly we were. I know we went to the where all the cranes had died. The shit.
You guys went to Kyotei Shrine.
Yeah,
you guys
Shrine.
At
Thank
Kyotei
you.
Castle.
I couldn't pull the name out of my ass there.
The head servant or head mistress, Ojuno, asked you guys to investigate this because it has now put a damper on the wedding. You also realize that they're going to have to move the wedding to another shrine and can't do it here at the main castle. She asked you to investigate. You guys decided to do so. You crossed the Totori gates entering the shrine and had a cold chill down your back. You see two women pouring water over the gravel and stones, cleaning up the blood, and another one is scrubbing the steps leading to the main shrine piece. And you had a vision as you tried to communicate with the kami. I can scroll down and give you rehash your vision. Your eyes look upon the courtyard, casting the pall of a vision. Dead cranes stalk about, picking at the corpses of dead lions, not the samurai, but the beast. Suddenly, a roar cuts through the air, and the cranes turn their heads as one to look upon the new lion striding into the courtyard. The dead lions jerk to life, their roars joining hers. The cranes alight, rising into the sky, circling above, but one crane remains facing the lions. That was the vision you had when you tried to commune with the kami.
Okay.
And you also know that the kami around here are quite agitated and stressed.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Okay.
Any questions from the... Yes, sir.
Dice question for you. Rings are D6s and skill ranks are D12s, right?
Correct. And you keep your ring.
Yep.
But any form that you want from any dice, but you keep up to your ring.
Okay, that works. Sure. Just couldn't try to make sure I remembered the dice setup for it.
Very good. Any questions there, Septon?
Nope.
Okay, we will begin back where you guys have entered the courtyard, and the shrine maidens have not recognized you yet. They are still going about their business.
Cat.
Okay, they haven't recognized us.
They're too busy. They look like they're a little stressed while they're trying to clean and quite shaken, visibly shaken. If you make any acknowledgement to your presence, they will do something. But right now, they haven't realized you guys have entered the shrine.
What was your character's name, Kyle? You don't have it on your thing.
Isawa Shohei.
Oh, Isawa. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to make an overlay yet. Been busy. Hey Clay, can I do a survey theology?
Okay, what are you trying to survey, sir?
I want to make sure that they're doing this cleanup properly.
Okay, and what ring are you going to... Oh, what? Go ahead.
It's going to be water. If they do this wrong, we're going to have some problems on our hands.
Okay, go ahead. It'll be a TN2 water check.
See what I got here. Let's see. I have a success and a strife.
Okay. Your thoughts are, as you're having a little confusion with what you've read in your books about this, you know that it's supposed to be something simple, and you think that they're doing fine. Nothing that's bothering you that they're doing out of place. You just take the 1 point of strife for something just tweaking, but they are doing the right thing, you believe.
Let's make sure I'm doing this right.
What are you doing there, Septon?
Yeah, I'm up to 2.
I want to walk over to the area. Are the corpses of the cranes still there?
As you survey around, you notice that the cranes have been removed from the gravel area, but they are off to the side in a cart, and being prepared to be carried off and burned.
Is there blood where the cranes' corpses were?
There's blood in the in the gravel area. Think of, in a gravel or rock garden, and
Mhm.
two of the shrine maidens are dumping water in that gravel to clean it up. Another one is, it looks like at the actual shrine, the steps leading up to the shrine, some of the birds had died there, and she's scrubbing at that stain that's on the ground, the blood stains.
I nonchalantly walk over to the woman and I tear off her kimono, revealing the Maltese falcon. Aha!
There you go.
I have discovered you. No.
Hey, Andrew, this might be the first time you strip a fucking woman naked in the middle of a game.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'll walk over to the cranes. I want to look at them and see how they were killed.
Okay, how would you like to look at them? Are you gonna
Let's do
medicine, survival?
medicine. It'll be medicine, analyze.
Okay, medicine, analyze.
Damn
I
mouse.
need to look what that is.
So it's air medicine.
Air medicine.
My mouse is going to die on me, and I don't have an extra mouse.
TN with that is going to be 3.
We regained a void, right?
Yes, you did. You gained another void back, so if you didn't spend your last one, you get it back.
I have a
You'll have
void.
another one.
I'm gonna use a void point on this because I don't have any skill in medicine, so I need to get some extra dice.
There you go.
You said TN was what?
3 medicine.
Ooh, that's a spicy meatball.
You trying to figure out how they're dead?
Yeah. One explosion, and okay, so that's 1 explosion, 2 strife, 3 opportunity. So 1 success, 3 strife opportunity. Or one success, 2 strife, 3 opportunity.
Okay, you don't quite make the TN, but what do you want that opportunity to be? Do you want to recognize something?
So I can't figure out like how the cranes were killed, but do I notice anything strange about the cranes? Like maybe where they got them from, or do these cranes like hang out here at the shrine?
Okay, what you get as your full-looking thing is you think the crane is the natural bird of the crane. It's their holy animal. And they may have had it kind of an aviary in the area, in the sense of they probably coaxed the birds to be here. There's nothing to keep them here. You do realize that their necks appear to be snapped. With that one, I will at least give you that. And the one of your opportunity. Do you wish to use your opportunity on anything else as you're surveying the scene?
1 sec. Yes, if that costs me 1.
Yeah, the neck cost you 1.
Yeah, let's spend the other 2 opportunity to while I'm standing over by the cranes to kind of like notice the 2 women that are cleaning up with the water, what their demeanors are.
Okay, you look up that they're scared and they're really frightful of what's going on, as if at any point they'll jump out of their skins. But what really gets you is the woman next to you that's next to the shrine has bloodshot eyes and she looks sickly, as though she had been vomiting.
What's their current strife? I get that as part of the opportunity, if they have strife.
You'd think the girl that is cleaning up the shrine steps is she's compromised. The other 2 are almost there. In terms of they're really stressed, but the girl that's cleaning up the shrine steps is ready to explode in her stress level.
Oh, Rokugani PI. I will pull down the front flap of my kimono then, and I'll turn and walk towards the compromised woman.
She'll look up at you. Seppen-sama, how may I help you?
I am here to investigate what happened to the cranes.
They died. And she looks around as if something more could happen. You know, another bird falls from the sky or whatnot.
I will look to my right and look to my left very fluidly, very water-ish, Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Bruce Lee. And
never heard him used as a verb before, but yes.
I will then very quickly kneel down in front of her as if trying to surprise her. Like, because I can tell she's on edge. I'm going to kneel down very quickly and like appear in front of her face and say, "What do you think happened to them?"
Okay, she is like ready to pee herself as you do that, and you can either do a courtesy or command how you're doing it how you wish to. She wants to spill her guts, but again, she looks sickly and she's very frightened.
Okay. What if could I do performance?
I'll give that to you at a TN2.
All right, because I'm trying to like put on a little bit of a dramatic show with this.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to incite them with fire to act upon their emotions and their desires. Because I think she wants to put this burden down.
TN is 1 then if you're using fire.
Okay, so fire performance. Fire is 2. 1 success, 1 opportunity.
You succeed. What do you want your opportunity to be?
I know I've startled her and I'm trying to catch her off guard and she's probably about to spill her guts. I don't want her to make a scene. If I can like console her in a little bit.
Okay, you're able to keep her away from the others seeing this because you are speaking rather forcefully and rather putting on a show, but you're able to block anyone else from really realizing or seeing what's happening. She starts to hyperventilate a little bit, and she looks around as if you're her that she's ready to tell you a secret. She's conspiring with you. It says, "I missed my duties this morning. I don't want people to think that I'm shirking my ability or my duties or my responsibilities to the shrine, but I was so sick. I couldn't make it this morning. I couldn't get leave away to come. I was so sick. Please." And she looks at you, tears in her eyes.
So that's what she wanted to get off her chest, I take it. She doesn't know anything. She's just feeling remorse that she didn't show up to work.
Well, she's kind of dishonored herself, and she was late to work, and she's here now.
I will
Go ahead.
I'll kneel in and say, when were you supposed to be here?
I was supposed to arrive with Emi and Masa, and she kind of points with her chin towards the other two. But I was so sick, I couldn't make it. I couldn't leave. And she looks like she's deathly ill, as if she's ready to upchuck whatever is left in her stomach.
What ails you? Why are you sick? Do you know? Was it food?
I do not know. She looks around and her eyes glance over towards the cranes.
Ooh.
Man, I don't know, but I don't know the death of the cranes and everything else. I don't know.
Theory.
It could be the Masu family ancestors. Maybe we haven't been doing our duties to the shrine, and they come from Yami to curse this place. I don't know. And she starts to cry a little bit, hanging her head.
What have you been eating and drinking? Have the last couple days here? Is there anything that you've ate or that you've drank that those birds could have ate or drank?
I'm not sure. I had rice this morning with the little fish, but I think those birds had their. I don't know what happened. She's ready to have say snap, but she just buttons up, tears still streaming down her eyes.
Now, I don't know if this is like character. I have to ask this because I don't want it to impact my next train of thought. I don't know if this is character knowledge or if my Andrew Knapp's knowledge is impacting what I'm about to say, because you might view this differently. But is it perceivable, because I shoot a lot of waterfowl, is it perceivable that these birds could have broke their necks from falling out of flight? Or does it strike me as if somebody broke their necks?
Very good. Since you brought that up and you had enough success or enough opportunity, and that's what you got, is you felt that they were forcefully broken.
Okay, I see. I'll ask her then. The other 2 women that you work with, are you friendly with them?
I've known them most of my life.
And you trust each other?
Yes, you may want to speak to them what happened earlier.
I'll do you a favor, and I'm not going to say anything about what you told me. And we'll just let that slide because you look very ill. But if you could help facilitate them telling me what they know, it would be terribly helpful.
Okay. At this time, what are you doing, Asawa?
I am going to be digging around. I'm going to see if I can find a way that somebody could get in and out of this shrine without really being seen. I'm actually going to do that with skullduggery, and I'm going to innovate. I'm going to use fire on that.
Okay. It'll be fire of 2.
Okay. Well, the plus side is I have 2 successes and an opportunity on that.
Okay, would you like to, with the 2 successes, it's fenced off, except for the Totori gate lets people in. There's one in the front. In the center of the area is the steps that lead up to the shrine itself. There is the stone garden that goes around it that's fashioned in different shapes and sizes to bring in feng shui. And then behind it, there's another gate that possibly leads to another part of the castle to allow the family to either leave or go to a secluded area. But it is open easily. Someone could crest the walls if they wanted to.
Okay. In that opportunity, I'm trying to think what I could do with that opportunity here. Oh, that's be interesting. Can I use it to find a actual clue where they came in at? Like a footprint or a partial footprint?
As you're looking around, you don't find that, but you find a small corner of the shrine kind of off to the side as you're assessing it, because you're assessing the entire area, correct?
Yeah. I'm doing it super carefully.
You see a small corner of the shrine. It just picks up your eyes, and I imagine you'll approach. Hidden in a small corner of the shrine, there's a small offering to the Damasu family, a small plate of incense with a note placed underneath it. It reads, "As the crane respected our hospitality, so too shall I respect theirs." It's signed Rika of the Pines.
I'm going to pocket that. And as I pocket that note, I'm going to begin moving back towards the Sepun. And as we move back towards the Sepun, you're still with the woman, right?
They appear to be getting up to go and approach the other 2 shrine maidens as you approach at this time.
Okay. I'm going to keep that note secret until I have time to talk to him alone.
Okay. As you approach, you get this. You hear her name is Satsuki goes, "Imi, Masa, this is," and she turns almost embarrassingly, "Seppen-sama. He is asking about what has happened here." They kind of look frightened and whatnot of you, but they start talking, ask your questions. They seem to be more open than Tatsuki was.
Okay, question number 1. Were you the ones who found the birds?
The 3 of us were. Tatsuki was sweeping the steps as she was supposed to, and we were preparing for the wedding ceremony, Imi and Isis Matza.
What time was it when you found the birds?
A few hours ago, almost at the start before our morning services.
Are these birds here often when you're doing your morning services?
There are some that are here. It is our clan's animal. It is our sacred animal. And there are usually some that swim, and you notice that you assess the areas. There is, a small pond and whatnot that they could refresh themselves, bathe and whatnot. But we've never had one die. And you see Emmy goes, she breathes heavily at that, looking around, making a sign to the kami.
Who has access to this other than the 3 of you that could easily be here at this time?
Yoman, the priest.
What's his name?
Yoman.
Yoman.
Yemon. Yeah.
Did you see anybody else the morning when you found the cranes? Anybody comings or goings while you were coming here?
No, it was just the three of us. As I said, we were preparing, and she kind of gestures to the area where they do the sand, sculptures and the different things to change the flow. We were just preparing. We were cleaning the shrine. Satsumi was sweeping the steps as she's supposed to do, and we were doing what we're supposed to do.
Okay. What's the name of the woman that's talking to me right now?
Her name is Masa.
Masa.
The woman that was also sweeping when you walked in is Emi. And the woman that was cleaning the blood from the steps is Satsuki.
Satsuki. All right. Well, I'm going to use my honest assessment on her.
Okay. On who? Which one?
The one that just replied to me.
Okay.
And you said that was
Masa.
That was Masa. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll use it on Masa. So that's a TN2 courtesy Earth. Okay. Okay, 2 success and a strife. Okay, so it succeeds. I want to know what the target's disadvantage is.
Target's disadvantage is gullible.
Gullible. Oh, okay. I'll say, oh, times like these are so hard, especially as a Seppin. This isn't normally what I deal with. Do you know what a Seppin does? You're familiar with my family, right? Our duties.
She looks at you. I know that you work for the Imperials. I don't know what your duties are, Sama.
We are protectors, usually guards. We protect the Imperial family, important Imperial bureaucrats. Don't do a lot of investigating of this sort. I do, though, often get to meet individuals of the Imperial Court, and I have a little bit of influence there. Anybody that could help me with this investigation, I'd have to put them in all my reports that would get passed across the desk of many important Imperials. And I turn and look off kind of into the distance as if I'm in thought.
Okay, it goes right over her head.
A person that helped me might win a little bit of renown for themselves. Might get favorable mentions in front of important people.
We want to help you, Seppin Sama. How may we help? And Emi says, yes. How can we help you? Not like they're eager to jump on the bandwagon. They're creeped out with what happened. It's a bad omen, and they're scared.
Well, I need to find who killed these cranes. There's somebody I actually think I need to speak to. Maybe you guys could help me with that.
Okay.
I have been led to understand, based on this guest list that I received, that there are several members of the Scorpion clan here.
It hasn't really kind of clicked in her head yet, but she kind of thinks for a moment and says, "Yes, there's a Soshi Ozu and his delegation here. They are here to be witness to the marriage of the Lord."
And when did their delegation arrive?
They arrived yesterday.
Oh, Seppin X feigns being surprised. Oh, wow. Of course, they would come around the same time that I and my own entourage would come, I'm sure.
Yes. There's a few left that are coming. The Ide is going to be here. And I even heard there's a lion, and she says it in hushed tones and then makes another sign for protection. Thing is, this used to be a lion castle.
Could you show me where the Scorpions are staying?
She points back to the castle, and you see it's probably the second floor. Some of the guests are there. The more important you are, the higher you are up in the building. She points to the second floor. His contingent should be there with the Ide. And she points further up. The Phoenix. There's the Shiba family, who is the bride's family, is there. She points to the second of the third floors. And Asako, an elderly advisor to on behalf of Shiba Sakuni, the Phoenix Clan champion, is there, and she points on that same floor.
What was the name of the lady I'm guarding?
Her name is Mia
Mia.
Namako. Yeah,
Mia.
Mia Namako.
I will say to this woman then, thank you. That information will be valuable. There's some other things I need to do then. I'll make sure that Lady Mia hears about your assistance in this matter. She'll be very grateful.
Thank you. And they bow low to you. What are you going to do, Asawa? It looks like the Seppin is finished with his talk.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get the Seppin's attention. And as I do, I'm going to bring him to the side and tell him that this note was left at the base of the shrine. And I don't know who this. What was the name of the pine? It was something of the pine.
Okay, I will give you of the pine then. Her name, you read again. It says, "As the crane respected our hospitality, so too shall I respect theirs." Signed, Rika of the Pines.
The pines. And that the way the note reads, it sounds like a jilted lion or a jilted person that has come here to this castle before.
Immediately, my head goes to the old Hammer Dracula films. I write it down and read it backwards. Sinip Akir. Sinip Akir. That means nothing. Well, I don't know who Rika of the Pines is.
Me either.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling that these scorpions know something about this. They arrived just before the cranes died. There's some speaking here of hospitality being repaid. This would be the perfect time to do it. It also might be another guess, but when it comes to scorpions, I'd like to start there, I think.
I'm not going to disagree with him at that. I'm going to, basically at this point, I'm going to let him take the lead because I'm not much of an investigator. I would much rather follow the lead of somebody who's investigated crimes before. But I'm going to pocket away the idea that this is definitely somebody who's been slighted or feels slighted.
Yeah. Okay. Seppin, by the way, doesn't know shit about investigating crimes.
This should be fun then.
Okay, well, I'm a naive young guy, so let's just run with that.
So you both know that you've got dinner. Oh, excuse me. Oh, you have dinner. That there's a massive gathering at dinner tonight, and all the guests and their people will be in attendance. But what would you like? That's probably the next hour or two on how you guys have come. You've rested. You've got cleaned up and what you've had to do. What do you guys want to do in that time period? Do you want to further investigate? Do you want to just go about what your business is? You still haven't met who you're supposed to meet for the testing of the foreign magic, the gaijin magic. That hasn't come in yet for either of you.
Yeah. Seppin has an idea. He doesn't know how good of an idea it is. I'll say to the Asawa. So we're fairly certain at this point that whoever wrote the note killed the cranes. That's our train of thought, correct?
I think he's talking to you there, Asawa.
Okay. Sorry, I'm like half-brained. Get down, cat.
Basically, Seppin says so this point, just to clarify, we're thinking whoever wrote this note was the same person that killed the cranes, yes, referring to the hospitality. So what if they obviously want the host to get a message?
Yes.
What I'm suggesting might be a bit mischievous, but since we were asked to investigate this, what if we just took that note and made it disappear?
I am actually not opposed to this. However, my question is, why would they, if trying to get attention, leave a mysterious note somewhere where it may not even be found? And actually, at that, Clay, could I? How would subsist skullduggery work here?
Assist skullduggery.
Subsist.
Assist.
Void.
You could use void. You're giving intention, gathering from the nothingness.
Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens with that, because that would be actually a good idea for me.
Okay. TN.
Okay, so I have an explosion, 2 successes, and a strife.
Okay. It's up to you if you wish to take that explosion and go with it, or.
Yeah, I'm going to take the explosion. So.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to eat the strife. Yuck, no fun. So I've got what I want here. So what I'm trying to do is figure out why somebody would leave. Try to figure out why somebody would leave a note in like a way off the way place that nobody would possibly find it if they're trying to get attention.
These are the things. Let me go up. That your theology. Did you get any opportunity?
No opportunity. Not on kept dice, anyways.
Okay, and you rolled a void.
Yep.
This is what gets you.
Wait, void doesn't get me.
Oh, no. This is kind of your intuition, your void of thought, your insightfulness.
Oh no, I was looking at the approaches. I forgot I don't gain the strife from the void. So
that is correct if that's your approach.
Yep.
This is kind of what you're piecing together. The way it was stationed and where it's at, someone had to know about the shrine. It wasn't where they were hiding it. It was where this person is making a vow or dictation of what they're going to do. You also think, as you're centering yourself and getting this, you almost think you can hear upon the wind the sounds of battle emanating from the castle. And also, the third thing that comes together as you're putting the theology together is the Daimatsu family's ancestors ruled this castle up to 20 years ago. It was the Lion's Castle. They lost it to the Crane. So it's possible, and you also know about the bloody battle, how they killed everybody, heir and all. But it has to be possibly someone from that time frame. Someone, basically, this is a direction, a dedication of vengeance, almost as if they took a blood oath. But instead of giving it to their daimyo and having, they are doing it upon themselves. It's an illegal kind of action, but it's a prayer to the kami to bless me, that I will return the hospitality that Crane did to me. So it's possible that that people of the past are here. Someone had to know where to place this. It wasn't placed randomly. It was placed somewhere that it wouldn't get damaged. The wind wouldn't mess it up. It would be given to the kami of the shrine.
Okay, that's perfectly acceptable. That's what I'm kind of curious about with that is how that's going to shake out. Oh, so my initial assessment was this had to be either a lion or somebody who'd been to this shrine before. So I'm going to stick with that as my initial assessment. But I agree with the Sepun. It could quite possibly be the scorpion, because the Crane have wronged them a lot.
The purpose then, do you say any of what you just learned?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we are where we won't be overheard, I'll tell you everything that I'm thinking.
The major thing is that so the purpose of that being left there wasn't for anyone to discover it. It was for the kami.
Yeah, it was it seems to be an offering to the kami.
Let's destroy it and leave a counter offering to the kami.
This is an interesting question, Clay. Would I know offhand what kind of kami would be in this place? Being a Crane shrine, it would probably be air kami, wouldn't it?
That you could be typical. The wind is blowing in this area.
So written word doesn't seem to strike me as something that the air kami would take as a player, but would my character know that?
Interesting bit.
Would I need to do theorize theology on that to figure
You could
that
do
out?
that if you want to try that.
Yeah, let's try that. Nice to have a 6 dice pull, huh?
There you go.
Okay, so success. I'm going to go 2 successes and 2 opportunity and a strife.
Okay, so with your 2 successes, you succeed. You probably think someone read this off. They were doing it as a
Oh, and
mantra.
it's a fire stance. So add that strife to my successes.
You got it. So with that, you think that they probably repeated this. That the thing was is they probably said this out loud while they were praying and left this as a physical offering.
Okay. Which spoken word would be used for air.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to tell him that he may be onto something here. That we possibly have somebody that we may be dealing with somebody who's either theologically trained or may even be a Shujinja themselves.
That leads me to this idea that I'm having now. You would be the expert on how to do this. Initially, when I thought the letter was being left for somebody to see, my plan was to keep the letter because then when it's not found, the person would be tempted to make another display or leave another letter. But since this was for the kami, perhaps if we can destroy the offering or make some kind of show about how we reversed what they did, the culprit will try to strike again.
It's possible, but would they strike in the same place?
Perhaps not. But if we have an idea of who the culprit might be, you and I could have them watched.
Yeah, this is true. Like I said, at this point, we know they have to be heavily trained in theology because to leave that specific of an offering for the kami. So, Clay, I'm going to go ahead and make a commune with the spirits check here.
Okay.
Because I want to see what the air spirits have to say. Okay, so it's going to be, sorry, I needed to see how this works again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. I've got an explosion.
Could the air spirit Clay have Dungeon Master Johnny's feminine voice?
I love you. Okay, so
I'd have to do my research on that. I haven't heard his succulent voice in a long time, so I don't know if it's the same monotone voice that he normally has.
Okay, so Clay, here's what we're going for. We're going to sense the kami. I detect all spirits and uses of their magic by Shujinja within a number of range bands equal to the ring you used plus your bonus successes. So I've got an explosion, which counts as 2 successes, correct? Or 1. Okay, so I've got
an
one.
Explosion counts as 1. If you roll it again and you get another explosion, it'll keep counting, or you get a success.
Oh, that's right. I can re-roll that, can't I?
Yes, you can. You can actually not re-roll it. You can add to it if you want. You can re-roll it and make it explode. If you have physical dice, I just leave it there, what you're collecting.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. It's not. So what it's going to happen is basically I'm just going to get everything within one range band of where I'm at is going to tell me any magic that's been used that matches air, and it's going to detect the spirits and their general state, basically. Are they agitated? I'm going to be able to sense all of that as I kind of close my eyes and start praying to the air spirits here in the shrine.
You hear upon the wind battle, anger, people dying, grief. The air kami are pissed off.
Yes, they are. I'm going to open my eyes and tell the Sepun if this was a gift to the kami, they did not take kindly to it. It feels like they feel violated.
Oh shit, I'm going to make sure I don't have any loose documents I'm carrying or anything that can get blown out of my hand.
And upon doing that, securing yourself, your kimono rises up a little bit.
I'm going to put my hand over my crotch and pull a Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, I'm only half joking because I'm thinking to myself like the air kami are angry. There's a bad storm brewing.
Your eye patch comes off. You have to stare into the depths of your missing eye. That's the bottom line.
So the air kami are angry. Can we do anything, Asawa, to try to calm the air kami?
I can try. Theoretically, when I commune with the spirits, I can actually try to calm them down.
With your success in your roll, you don't need to try. They're doing what they're supposed to. The shrine maidens are cleaning up the desecration. It needs to be blessed.
Yeah. Which I could technically do a blessing, a short blessing to try to calm them down. I don't know if you want me to roll for that, if you just want me to go through the motions. We have the time.
With that, you figure you do have the time, but if you decide to do it fully, in which to appease their kami, you'd need to roll, and you'd be cutting it close to tonight's dinner, which would be a very dishonorable thing if you were not present during your announcement. And so would the Seppin if he stood around to watch with you. So that would take your time here up to win the dinner.
However, it would also bring me closer to enlightenment, which is my passion.
Ooh, so if you're using your passion, you'll clean up 3 point. I think it's 3 strife. Yeah, if you're doing your passion.
3 strife. I'll clear all my strife, and I'm going to be.
So you're willing to run the risk, okay?
Yes, I am.
Perhaps we could purposefully show up like just before we're supposed to, and then when people asked us why we were so rushed, we can have Loudmouth over here boast about how he just undid all the malicious stuff to the kami out by the shrine.
I am okay. So first off, I am blunt and I am painfully honest.
Okay, Seppin, he starts to go into this, and you've seen it before in your training, and you've gone to court or you've gone to mass many times. Are you going to stick around? Basically, you know that if you assist him, that you guys are going to be running that late, and you will be dirty and sweaty because you're going to have to pick up these stones in a particular order. You're going to have to rotate different things. You are going to be sweaty and dirty by the time you make dinner. You will not have time to clean up. And he seems about going about his business. And the shrine maidens kind of snap too as he kind of steps forward.
Hey, Clay.
Yes, sir.
What will the roll be on this? Will this be theology as well?
It's going to be a theology check. It is going to, depending on what sphere you or what ring you use, will give me determine the difficulty. But if you're just going to do a full-on cleansing to appease them, it'll be a TN3.
I'm thinking I was going to do a recall on that.
Theology. Recall, analyze.
Trying to recall the proper motions and everything to make sure I'm worse.
That works.
Why does this come across to me like fucking Ash trying to recall the words from the Evil Dead?
It's a possibility. If he screws it up, he either pisses him off fully, he embarrasses him in front of the shrine maidens that seem to answer his call before he really does it, but he has to lead the ceremony. What are you going to do, Seppin?
I mean, Asawa, if it doesn't work, just cough. Like when you're reading the word, that'll fool the kami.
I hate you so much. Okay, so I have an explosion, Clay.
Clay, to answer your question, I'm just going to ask Asawa straight up. Do you want my help with this, or do you need my help with this?
Before you tell me your results, go ahead and answer him, Asawa.
I do need his help because this is a big job.
Okay, then I'll help him.
Okay. I will give you on this roll, I will give you an extra ring die that you may keep.
Okay. That's beautiful because that's going to give me 3 successes, a strife, and an opportunity. 2 strife and an opportunity.
Okay.
And what does Earth give me? Okay, that doesn't do crap for me because nobody's targeting me right now.
But you can look at your successes. I could just help you scroll down real quick on what you can do with your opportunity. Your bonus successes will make you.
I was doing Earth stance, make sure I couldn't use that in my roll first. But yeah, go ahead.
Where is it? Non-player character, educational. There we go. Give me half a second. I will tell you what opportunity does in Earth stance. Just general, which you can use it for.
This is where I need a hard copy of this book. I may buy that for my birthday. It's coming up in a couple of weeks.
There you
March
go.
7th.
Wow.
So,
okay. If you rolled Earth, you can act carefully to minimize consequences of failure or other dangers that could arise from this. You could spend your success to do that. You could spend your success if you got any strife in this round to remove 2. Oh, that's for another character. Excuse me. You can't do that. That's for someone else. You can remove 1 for 1 if you want. For yourself.
Can I get us to do this in such a manner through that with that opportunity that we are not quite as gross as possible when we walk into the dinner? I mean, we're still going to be a little gross, but
I'm gonna say this. Do you want to cover yourself, cover the Seppin, cover the girls, or try to do just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Okay.
I can care less about maidens in a shrine. Their job is to be gross.
Sorry,
You're
lady.
not as dirty, but you will become. People will still know that you did something physical. You've got
That's
dirt on the bottom of your kimonos. You're sweaty when you get there, but not as profusely sweaty. The girls do 90% of the work, but you're able to lead it. At that time, you hear a dong, dong. Within the castle, you all know that that is the gong to ring for dinner. Correct.
Dinner bell.
And passing in that back hallway, you see people going towards the main courtyard of where the dinner will be held. This is the main courtroom of the building. So basically, you've seen all the different Asian samurai shows where you have the building, then you have a courtyard that's got roofing that goes across all four areas, goes to another building, another courtyard. Basically, just like in the picture, you guys are going to the downstairs courtyard, passing through the shrine area that leads you to the courtyard, to courtroom, excuse me, the main dining hall. You know, Seppin, that you need to make your ass to Mia. She's not going to understand if the two of you show up. Your job is to protect her. So you'll have moments. I will need from you either a finesse check to make it quickly and run through, or you can wait and suffer the consequences and try to give me a courtesy or command check when you answer to her.
Oh, yeah, we'll go for the. You said fitness?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go with fitness. I'll do. Let's see.
Any of the attacks work? You
Sacrifice.
do.
Sacrifice. I will. So I'm gonna do fitness sacrifice. I'm going to, without regard, like an asshole, make a fool of myself to storm through to get back to her. Because I care more about what she is about to think of me than what the people that get in the way of me are about to think of me.
I now have this image of this Seppin guard with this spear, just like using the front of the spear to shove little old ladies out.
Go ahead and give me a fitness check.
Yeah.
TN is 2.
This is definitely like Betty beating people down in the street.
I'm gonna repeat. This is not the first time you've done something awful like this. So,
hey man, like I said before, a Seppin cares first and foremost about his guarding duty.
I'm not faulting you. I'm just saying this is not the first time in an L5R game you've done something awful.
3 success. 3 success, 1 strife, 2 opportunity.
Okay, what do you want that opportunity to be? Give me half a second. I can tell you what it does on the.
With the 2 opportunity, let's see, for void, choose a ring other than gain spiritual insight. Detect a sign of the supernatural. There's a disturbance in the scene.
You can remove 1 strife.
Let's gain some spiritual insight. If anybody is off put by the speed and vigor at which I'm going through the castle, I would like to make note of people's responses to me and see if anybody understands that I'm a man with a duty.
Okay.
So basically, I know I'm going to offend people with the speed I'm getting there. I just want to know if anybody looks at me and is like impressed that I'm doing this to get back in time to guard her.
You see that the Daidoji guards that are here are acknowledging what you're doing, and an older one kind of frowns at you, but 2 younger ones kind of give you that whole thumbs up, the equivalent of a Rukugani thumbs up. They kind of the corner of their mouths kind of raised as they see you rushing over. You will lose 2 honor, but you'll gain 1 glory. And you're bypassing. It looks like everyone's gathering to be introduced to the Lord, and you've kind of butted your way in. You're making your way to the front. You're in like a reception area where the other guests are about to enter. Some of the lower station guests have already entered. They go in by lower to greater, and Mia is towards the back, but she's not the end. They've kind of held that honor for the bride's parents and the bride. But you make it to Namiko, and she gives you a smirk.
Hey, Clay. Is it
Yes,
pretty
sir.
easy to find my delegation?
Yes. As part of your delegation is you had, damn it, my damn computer is locking on me in the notes. Let me scroll up real quick, or down on my notes. The Phoenix delegation is you have Shiba Atoyo, she's the bride. You have Shiba Kasada and Chisari, which was the bride's parents. You have Asako Mezui, who is an elderly advisor sent on behalf of the clan champion. And those are your contingents. And basically, you guys are in the back. Everyone that's part of the Phoenix is being honored by going to the back. And you are quite late unless you decide to run as well.
I'm going to get there in a pretty good hurry, but I'm going to try to cut it as close as possible. And as I get up close to the bride and everybody, in a very carrying voice, I'm going to apologize for having been so late, but that somebody had to purge that shrine of all the angry spirits.
Yes. Loudmouth success.
Okay, with that, go ahead and give me a command check.
Oh boy, no, right.
And you're basically wanting to insight, so it's going to be fire.
Okay, I'm going to spend my void point to get at least a rank in that.
Okay, and, you'll be able to roll and keep.
Seppin is going to be watching the response of anybody within earshot of him.
Okay.
With my good eye.
Okay, so I keep up to 3 of these. So I've got, let's reroll that. I have 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 successes plus 2 strife, which I think add in, right? Yeah, so 5 successes and an opportunity total, with the 2 of those being strife.
Okay, with that, what you just rolled, let me see, because it doesn't say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Clay, I don't have an opportunity.
You don't have an opportunity. Okay, then
No.
I don't need to give that to you then. Okay, you say it, and from you, basically, you have what is it? You have the announcer, the guy that's announcing everyone and bringing them in. He's about to make his announcement, but your voice kind of is commanding and bellows out, apologizing while you are late and everything. I need from you, sir. What will I need? I'll need a courtesy roll from you, and
okay.
You can either use reason, Seppin, or you can use enlightenment.
Right, this is a courtesy roll for me.
For you, because you're trying to assess what his embarrassment, which he lost an honor for, but I will give him a point of glory.
Oh, and
but you're a few minutes in, and Mia is ready to talk to you and stuff. The announcer's about to do their thing, and then in comes the Asawa, kind of two-stepping it a little bit, and he just blurts out this shit so everyone can hear in this courtyard and possibly outside this room.
What I want to look for particularly, Clay, is not what happens to him, but I want to see if anybody is incensed by the particular part about him calming the kami.
Okay, you can use courtesy, sentiment. Sentiment, I would think would work better here. You're trying to, and you could either, and it's probably survey.
Yeah, because I'm going to be
or
looking.
Analyze. You're either survey or analyze, I would say. Okay, go ahead and give me a roll.
Let's do
better. Well, you're going to do survey. So
it's my worst of them. I'm going to use my other void point.
Okay, and with that, if you succeed, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Come on, big money. That's explosion. Okay, I've got 2 success, 3 strife, and an opportunity.
And what did we use? What was the ring? We're using water?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're scoping about looking at people, you notice that the Ide, you catch something that bothers you in his face when he mentions when Asawa mentioned that he's cleaning up the dead, the disgrace to the shrine. And he blessed it. You know, Asawa, that you haven't done enough because of that incident. They are moving the venue of the actual wedding. But you saying that, it bothers him a little bit. And you see that in his face. The Ide.
The scorpion.
No,
not
the unicorn.
The
scorpion looks bored, but interested. You see that as well. He looks bored, but interested.
Screw him. I've got the Ide in my sights at this moment. Like, why in the flying fuck would the unicorn be upset that the shrine area is getting cleaned? Oh,
and the other thing you notice with your roll, as the doors open and everything, and you're surveying, is the ancestral swords of the Damatsu family, now the prize of the Sumai family, are on display in an alcove above where the Lord is in the central area. You catch that is what all that bothers you is they're displaying the weapons of the vanquished family that used to run this castle.
That is bad. That's bad form, guys. Very bad form.
And I'm 6 out of 6 composure, so any more strife is gonna compromise me. By the way.
So you are compromised, yeah?
It's one. You have to go over.
Oh, okay. So you're almost compromised then.
Yeah, I'm 1 point away from being compromised.
But you can also maintain your stuff. You'll just be compromised.
Yep.
Like,
I'm just letting you know.
Composure.
I'm just letting you know because if I take any more strife, that's gonna happen.
Sweet.
So, just real quick, once you're compromised, you have to make checks where you outburst, or you can choose to outburst, correct? In order to get rid of your strife.
And Andrew can correct me. What you can do is, if you're compromised, your vigilance is 1, and you can't keep any dice that have the strife symbol. And a lot of times, that strife symbol shares it with an explosion or a success. You can't keep that die if it has a strife symbol. You can explode at any time by unmasking and having an outburst that could embarrass you, hurt you, or otherwise.
Okay.
But like, say if it's in a duel and stuff, unmasking is an action, I believe, if you're like dueling. But if you're wanting, like in this case, if you're going to do something, you want to succeed in doing something, you're taking the strife, you're just sitting there bubbling. You know, something's about to break, the bridge is going to fall, and then you can blow up. But you can just keep sucking it up if you want, but nothing. You basically means your emotions are getting the best of you, and you're not paying attention to the world around you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just double checking what exactly composure. I've got 10 composure. I'm only 40% of the way. So
yeah, there's also, once you're compromised, like that compromised condition, if you don't get rid of it by unmasking, there's abilities that can exploit the fact you're compromised. Like
I'm guessing they're mostly courtier abilities.
Some of them are combat. There's katas where you can't defend yourself if you're compromised.
Like the Rising Blade one. Yeah, I love that one.
Rising Blade will fuck you up if you're compromised, man.
So you could be hurt in battle as well if you're compromised. You give yourself an opening to your opponent. Basically, you're distraught enough where he sees an opening and can strike you.
Nice.
But again, in combat, you can't keep dice that have strife symbols, so you may not make the TNs to hit someone.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That still makes sense.
What visual cues are you kind of showing, Seppin, that Asawa may be able to see?
Face contortion, Clint Eastwoodian face contortion.
And just to add a little bit more to that, the Mia is jabbing you a little bit because she's the only one. It's just her and him. And she says to you, and you hear this, Asawa, are you done playing? You've now come back, Seppin-san? No, she won't say that. What is your first name, Seppin? Your
Dojima.
Dojima. And she's about to say Chan, but she stops because people are watching. Dojima-san.
Seppin still has like the contorted look, and he's looking. I'm looking straight at the Ide. I'm mean mugging the shit out of him, and I'm going to do like one of those things where you're like you almost have spit coming out of your mouth because you're getting angry. But I'll flinch and pull the spit back and go and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lady Mia. Yes, I'm done. I'm done assisting the Asawa. I'm ready."
Nice.
Of course. And then the entourage starts to be pushed forward, and they're all entering. Mia has entered, and she's seated at the left hand of the Lord. His wife, or his bride and their family, the father, the mother, and the bride are at the right. And then Asawa, you're the fourth on his right. So you still cross from Sepin if you wish to speak with him. And they sit you down where you're kind of standing right now because dinner is not going to be served. You're kind of standing around as the Lord, Sumi says, honored guests, thank you for coming to our nuptials. Dinner will be held within the hour. It is a crane delicacy. I am sorry that it is not up to our standards, but being as the lion are at our door, and this castle could be attacked at any moment, I wish to provide the best of which we are able. Please relax and enjoy yourself before dinner. And that kind of cues it out to where you guys can go about and do whatever you want, talk to guests, do different things. But you can mingle amongst the guests. And people seem to do that way. They kind of break away in their own little cliques and whatnot and go about their business.
Where is the Ide?
He seems to be talking with the bride and the family.
Yeah, I bet he is. I'll lean over to the Asawa and I'll say, I picked up something.
I'm gonna give him a very wide-eyed stare that basically says, "Go ahead."
And I'll
Please.
say, when you told everybody why you were late, that you were attending to the angry kami, I used my insight, my Seppengard insight, to search the faces of the other guests, and I saw it on the face of the Ide. It betrayed him all too well. Discomfort, anger, alarm. He didn't like the fact that you were cleansing that shrine.
Oh, time to play my cynic. My response to that is, why would a unicorn have anything to do with this? That doesn't make any sense.
Why, indeed, the plot thickens, my Asawa friend. The plot thickens. Because surely, we are absolutely sure that it disturbed him. My senses are not wrong.
Are you offending him? Are you offending him? Are you taking that as an insult?
It depends. No. It depends what he says.
Oh, no. I'm not taking that as an insult. I'm just going to continue trading barbs with him that make it very clear I don't believe him, because I don't see why a unicorn would be involved.
And I will stand up a little bit angrily and say loud enough for others to hear. And why isn't a unicorn capable of treachery?
How loud do you say that?
Loud enough for other people to hear.
We're about to get executed. Shut up. You're going to get us both killed.
And as you guys kind of stop and say that and kind of assess the area, you notice that there's a pall over the entire castle of this group. People are not talking loudly except for that outburst. And it does stop for a moment, and people ignore it. The honorable thing to do is to ignore it. But you do notice, if you're paying attention, who are you watching when you say that, Sepin?
Oh, Sepin would have I'm going to be real with you. He would have a very light perception about what's going on in the room. He is just offended that the Asawa doesn't believe that his senses picked this up.
Okay.
It's just doesn't make any sense.
You do notice that the room pauses for just a brief moment and then resumes everything that they were doing. So you know that your outburst was acknowledged by everyone damn near.
Good. And Sepin will think to himself, what do they care? They're gaijin anyways.
Oh, wow. Just don't say that out loud, please.
So was that you unmasking, or are you still soaking it in?
No, that's going to be my unmask.
Okay.
I'm a total bigot. Awesome.
Hopefully that fits it. I mean, I think it fits it.
That works. I will give you
What is your outburst?
The thing that he said about the unicorn, loud enough for the unicorn to hear what he was saying.
My
That he was basically fucking or bad mouthing the unicorn.
yeah, me
Good.
asking you indignantly, why isn't a unicorn capable of treachery?
Okay.
So with that, he does suffer the minus 1 point to his honor. You, because you chose to ignore it, will gain 1. And actually, what is your station, Asawa, or your status?
My status? He's an elementalist. He's a member of the
No,
great.
your station. Your I think it's still called station. Or is it? No,
What?
it's your status.
You're giving him an honor for that. He's the one that caused it.
But he wasn't the one that
I
blew
don't
how
have
up.
anywhere on here for status. Good
How
sir.
can you cause something and ignore it?
Let me see. I don't see anywhere on here for status.
No, I need to see what his status is.
Oh, you talking about
Your
hang on.
status. So your status is covered under your family. So look what Asawa will get for a status.
So
Hang
he's
on a
going.
second. My mouse is locked up here.
He's not getting it. It's the others
So-
that ignored are getting honor for ignoring your outburst.
So you're not going to answer it though, Kyle. You're going to ignore it.
No, I mean I'm not. I'm just going to continue being obstinate about it and act like you're like I'm
If
trying
that's
to.
what you're doing, Kyle, then you don't gain nor lose.
That's fine.
Big boy lost 1, and I got to see. Check your status.
Yeah,
Nobody
I'm
else
trying.
calls
Hold
you on it, and people have lost. As you look around the room, as you've gathered yourself up, Seppin, and you're looking around the room, you notice that some people have got a head hang low, and others are blatantly ignoring you. And basically, because of who you are, who you represent, they didn't speak up, and you know that they've embarrassed themselves. And people here are acknowledging it. Just like you, as you're looking around, assessing things, others are doing
my
the same.
status is 30, good sir.
Nothing happens to you then. You're belligerent to everything of what occurred. Kind of went over your head because it's not really your expertise, but the Seppin knows what happened.
Yeah, the Seppin will continue on the line. Then he'll say, "Well, come on, Asawa, answer me."
He's going to keep pushing me.
Yeah, he's gonna
He's
say,
hot and heavy.
He's gonna say, why aren't the unicorn capable of treachery?
I'm going to be at a loss for words, mostly because of my naivety.
Ooh, I'll give you that.
The way I've got this character built out is he's really young. So he can't really answer you other than the fact that it doesn't make any sense because the unicorn and the crane have never really been at odds like that.
Go ahead. What I will,
understands.
to see the faux pas, if you've got one, I will do culture and recall.
Oh, God. Well,
if you fail this, you'll lose the honor, what you're supposed to do. If you make it, you'll be able to know what you're supposed to do for his dishonor.
Let's see. Ooh, I get an explosion, so...
It will be 2 success.
Which I got 2 success and a strife.
You know that you're supposed to because of your lower status, and his faux pas would be something, you would say something to him. But the honorable thing, but you know this as well because you rolled your culture.
Yep.
And that's what you're picked on because you're not compromised and he just blew up. If you chastise him, which is the right thing to do, and kind of challenge him because he opened his big old mouth, would you embarrass yourself in front of the Imperial? You kind of assess the room. People wanted to say something, but they all backed away. The Imperial that is there to stop them. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you chastise him for his outburst and his dishonorable outburst, or do you just let it go?
I'm going to remind him that you should never accuse anyone of anything without proof, and that to do so is both dishonorable and dastardly.
Where's the accusation? Seppin heightens it, and he gets angry.
Look, I can't even call you out right.
No,
Mia looks over.
Tell me, Asawa, who has been accused exactly of what?
This is actually true. Nobody else heard him make the accusation, but...
No, all they heard was he says, how can a unicorn not be caught or be capable of treachery?
No, what I said, why can't a unicorn
or
be
why
capable
can't,
of treachery?
Excuse me.
Yeah, difference. Because I'm not saying unicorns are treacherous. What I asked was, what makes you think that unicorns are incapable of doing something like that?
You rolled high enough you could respond and diffuse it if you so choose.
Oh well.
But he's hot and heavy. The Steppen is upset.
Well, I'm going to tell him that he needs to be careful about how he impinges the honor of an entire clan, lest he get us in deep trouble.
I'll tell you what. I'll be careful of how I suggest we investigate things. If you be careful about how you clear people of possible crimes before you've done any investigation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bitch slap.
And upon that, you guys have you've come out of your you've unmasked and you've looked around. You notice that Mia is staring at you, Steppen, with basically she'd pat your head as if you were a dog and you did a good job. But again, she's too small to do so, and that would embarrass you and embarrass her. So she just kind of nods a little bit. As you guys both survey the room, you notice that others are in quite conversation. The bride, Shiba Toyo, is in conference with her parents, and the old Asako, that's the advisor to the clan, your clan champion there, Asawa, who all seem to be offering her wisdom on married life. The unicorn trader is speaking with the husband of Doji Hatoru, the clan champion of the crane. He looked like he walked away from the bride. And they are jovially discussing the season's fashion of fabrics and designs, while Captain Sume Kagasa is listening quietly, visibly regretting her seating assignment next to General Nasu, a visiting Scorpion Soshi family member. You catch the word Ozuru gruffly answering the Scorpion's question about local geisha houses, the Pine House.
Is it possible for the crane to be any gayer? I mean, just gonna ask.
Hold on. Did I hear Pine House?
Yes, I did.
Rika Pines?
Rika of the Pines. And I smell a trip to a whorehouse.
Suppen will look at you, and now like all the rage is gone, and he's reverted back to a normal person, and he says, "Did you hear that? Of the Pines, we should go follow that lead."
I'm totally okay with this.
But I still think we should speak to that unicorn just for a second.
I'm fine with that. I'm going to let you speak to the unicorn. Since you're the one that's suspicious of him.
As you guys are conversing back and forth and surveying the crowd, you also see that Lord Tagashi Sume is quietly drinking. He occasionally flashes a polite smile towards one of his guests or another. And as he's doing so, you hear introducing coming from his domo. You hear introducing the contingents of Akodo Mieta and her lion delegation. And in walks an Akodo Abushi. She's got the whole filaments, the armor she's wearing. At her side is a man that has no affiliation or mon, and he's kind of assessing the area as if he's cautious of what's going on.
Who's this?
This is Akodo Mieta, says the domo that does it. Everyone seems to stop what they're doing and kind of look towards the entry door. Again, as you guys entered in this area, you see that Takeshi is sitting at the head of the room, in the middle of the room at the head, facing the doorway. You see tables are being set up on both sides of him for the different guests. People are still milling about because the food hasn't been prepared. At the entryway, doors opened up almost with a bang, and the domo who's standing guard there, he's supposed to be introducing guests that arrive, and he thought he did his job, introduces the Akodo and her guest Ito. And it's a woman that steps forward. Guests seem to part ways so that the Lord and Lady can recognize each other, the Lord and the Akodo. And this is what happens. The room itself seems to gasp as an elegantly yet resolute Lion Clan woman takes her seat across the room from the two of you. As people are gaping and whatnot, she's making her way to an open seat. She's accompanied by a weathered-looking bodyguard who wears no colors nor mon. You all recognize this, and other people recognize this. Takeshi pauses slowly lowers his chopsticks. Again, they're taking small snacks and stuff in his sake glass, and shock is plain on his face.
Is it a Ronin?
The man next to the lion,
The guard.
yes,
Yeah,
is
the
a Ronin.
guard. Oh,
Yeah.
so dishonorable. So dishonorable.
But you notice that the Lord has not said anything, and he's kind of just set his sake glass down.
I look over at Loudmouth and just wait for an explosion.
Apparently, the Sepin's looking at you, Asala.
I don't just blurt anything out. I am honest and blunt, but I'm not stupid.
Hey, are you sure you don't want to cup your hands and say, "Hey, where's your mon?"
No, I'm good. However, I notice he's not wearing a mon. I will start a small whisper campaign among the Phoenix.
Okay, so if that's what you're going to do is gossip like a little gossip girl.
No, I'm going to pull my fan out to do it.
Okay, it would still be gossip.
Yeah, but it's a whisper on the wind, so you can't prove I said a damn thing.
Let's see. What are you going to say?
I'm going to point out he doesn't have a mon, and I'm going to get everyone to stare at him.
Okay, so you're saying that, and it's circling around. Everyone is staring at the Akoto and her follower. At that, and Takeshi has got an open expression of shock on his face. And as he gathers himself, you notice that the old woman that asked you guys to investigate in the first place steps forward and says, "The first course will be served." And she snaps her hands, and servants start bringing out trays upon trays of seasonal appetizers. You got fish, rice, and different things. Again, this is the main course, and it is a delicate meal, very well prepared. Think of going to a very fancy sushi shop. You didn't get a lot of food, but it looks very pretty as for the first course. And that's when everyone starts to come and take their seats. You guys are, the lion is actually sitting next to you, Sepin, and you notice that her companion is standing behind her. Your thing would be to stand behind, if you're in the capacity of bodyguard or Yojimbo, you would stand behind Mia, but she's asking, she has not embarrassed you, but has left a seat open for you to sit and eat. So it's up to you if you wish to take that seat.
By the way,
Sawa, you have an open seat.
I will I'll thank the lady for leaving me a seat, but I will eye the Ronin as if I have distrust but not say anything. I just want her to see that I don't trust the Ronin and say that I think I'll stand.
How many people in my contingency are actually looking at this Ronin, just staring at it? Like,
if you're,
how dare you show the fuck up?
I'm gonna mean mug him.
How mean are you? How intense are you investigating this with your contingent?
Oh, I'm trying to make this fucker feel as uncomfortable as possible. So the more eyes I get on him, the better.
I'm gonna honor that bitch.
Okay, go ahead and give me.
We're terrible people.
Go ahead and give me a sentiment check, and if you're surveying, it would be what is that? Water. If you're surveying the area. And you, Sepin, if you're just giving shit eyes to the guy, if you're trying to intimidate him, it'd be skullduggery check.
I'm not surveying at all, Clay. I'm actively trying to get my contingency to stare this guy down. So actually,
they're all looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could be skullduggery. I mean, I could do skullduggery con.
Okay, I'll give you that if you're trying to be a little shady about it. So it'd be air, skullduggery, air. And what about you, Sepin?
I got 2 success, 2 stretch, so I succeed with the honest assessment.
I get a happy little opportunity.
I want to know what his disadvantage is. Tell me your secrets, Ronin.
Okay.
And I'm sure the Asawa will tell me that my insight is wrong, but the secrets I shall have.
I got a happy little opportunity that I'm going to use to see if I can make him really terribly uncomfortable.
Who are you trying to make uncomfortable? The Ronin?
The Ronin.
Okay,
I want him to feel us watching him. I'm not like, I don't want them to like feel like we're not watching him. Like we're eating as we're watching him.
Now remember, all your dashios and stuff are gone. All you have is your wakizashi.
Ask him if he can bring you some more fish.
Hey, Ronan, give me some more food, bitch.
Just act like he's a fucking Edda. Be like, could you bring me some more drink, please?
God. I'm not looking for a duel, unless you're going to be
Okay.
my second. But I am trying to make him really uncomfortable. Who the fuck brings a Ronin to a wedding? I want to slap this bitch.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got the opportunity. That's all I got.
Okay, and you didn't get what you were after, but you can spend your opportunity to notice something if you so wish.
Let's see what he. I want to see how he takes being stared down like that.
He doesn't appear to be paying attention to you or the Septon.
Okay, that's fine. But that tells me what I want to know. He's really, really, really well disciplined, which means he probably wasn't always a Ronin.
Standing next to a Septon and not fearing for your life, he has no discipline.
What about you? Are you going to survey? Are you threatening? What are you doing, Septon? He seems to either pay attention to the Akodo, or he kind of looks in the direction of the head of the table.
I succeeded on honest assessment with him, so I find out his disadvantage.
Ooh, let me I made my notes. Give me 2 seconds to flip through my note here. You already starting the game off by assessing this guy.
Yeah, and please let it be third nipple.
Third nipple. Yes, he's Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
What is your deal with a third nipple?
I'm just saying, man, it'd be a really funny rumor to start.
Oh, you guys are really talking a lot of shit, aren't you? Where's my notes? Where are you, Ito? Ito.
Clay, don't ever give us an opportunity to start spreading rumors that are completely unfounded, because we will.
Ito. And that's good. You lose honor for it, but you start the shit.
Hey, man, like when I unmask in this game, I unmask. So
He did. Everyone knows what the fuck he was talking about. Okay, where are you? Come on. Oh, there we go. So you want to know what his disadvantages are?
yes,
He's got interpersonal issues. He's unnecessarily rude, and by that you get because he's ignoring you. He's ignoring Yasawa, who's across the way to his contingent and kind of staring at him.
There's no kind of to that.
And he seems to be ignoring it as if it's not bothering him. But he is socially inept in his basically blunt and rude is what he is.
oh, I'm going to. He's standing right next to me, right?
Yeah, if you haven't taken your seat, he's kind of standing off and not eating, but he's just in a position to watch over the line.
I'm going to introduce myself to him. I'm going to say, hello, my name is Seppen Dojima, and this is my friend, Isawa. And I'm going to introduce him to Isawa, knowing that he's a fucking rude cunt.
And I'm a blunt bastard, you ass.
It does not matter who you are. Seppen looks at the Sawa.
Oh,
I have a duty to
as
perform.
soon as he says that, Clay, I'm going to say, hey, since you lack a mon, I would argue it's you that doesn't matter.
He turns back. You have a sharp tongue. Even with no mon, I am still samurai. Would you gauge to incite me further, Asawa?
I don't know. That sounds like a threat to me, Isawa.
That sounds like a threat. I'm not going to push my luck here. I think pissing him off once is more than enough.
Seppen will say, I meant no disrespect to your samurai. Samurais have names, do they not?
Ito.
Ito. Okay. And I'll just like stare at him with like a little smug smile. Just like a little smug smile.
He doesn't even acknowledge the barbs and the pace back. He goes back to where he's either listening or watching the Akodo. And but you catch with what you've got is his eyes go back to the front of the courtroom or the room, the hall.
I'll turn back to Asawa and say, Well,
I'm not even
hearing-
sure where do
go
we
ahead.
go with this guy.
Mia goes, and as you look down at the Mia, she is looking down at the pillow that is your seat.
I will say, would you like me to sit, Lady Mia?
That would be, and she looks like she's searching for the word. Yes, and then she gets a little blunt, and she's kind of gives you a look. If you're going to question her further,
I say, oh, of course. Thank
dinner
you.
is about to be served.
That is very kind of you, and I'll sit down.
Okay. What are you guys doing as dinner is being served?
Well, I'm not real sure how to run with that. I think the best thing to do is eat dinner while I'm chewing over who the fuck this guy is.
I would first thing I'll see is if they put the Ronin's plate on the table or on the floor.
Like
They
the dog
actually
you
put it
want.
on. They put it on a plate. They do not serve them on the floor.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Like
Without.
I'll
Go ahead.
I'll watch to see if they're treating him like a human. I'm very interested to see how the other people are treating him.
The servants are treating him like he is samurai. It may not be family, but he is samurai, and they're treating him as such. And he walked in with the lion. You notice that they're pouring her, and they're going back and forth, and she is sitting down, and she's basically just being there. Go ahead, if you guys are surveying the room, you guys can go ahead and give me another courtesy check, if you'd like. If you guys are looking at what's happening, or if you guys are just trying to still piss off Ito.
Okay, no. I'm gonna go with enlighten here. I want to enlighten myself on what the hell's
Okay.
going on in this room. So,
And I just want to see what the Ide is doing specifically at this point. Because in the back
Okay.
of my mind, this is all a show to me, but in the back of my mind, I'm following the Ide.
Okay.
well, that's actually not bad. Okay, so I have 2 successes, 2 strife. Well, actually, 2 successes, 2 strife, 2 opportunity, but I don't get any strife because it's a void.
Okay. Asal, we'll go with you first. Say that again.
2 successes, 2 opportunity. I lose the 2 strife because I'm using void.
Okay. What is it you're trying to do with your insight? You're just trying to fill the room out, and
Yeah, I'm going with an enlighten. I'm trying to enlighten myself as to the fillings of the room, kind of basically trying to read the room.
Okay, this is what you get as it goes forward. You notice as things are going and the Akoto has been introduced, you notice that the bride is fidgeting and fudgeting and hasn't been talking to her parents any longer and seems to be suffering through the dinner. General Shishima does try to bring up conversation with her, but you notice that her hand is trembling as she talks back, and they make it. You also notice that, excuse me, 1 second, I need to scroll down. You also notice that, I am missing something. What are my damn notes? You also notice that the captain that was watching one of the unicorn has left, and you notice the scorpion has left as well. You also notice that Takeshi is not taking his eyes off the Akoto.
Oh boy.
And with your second opportunity, you notice that Ito is looking at the pair of blades above the Lord's head.
So he's looking at the
Longingly.
family heirlooms.
Correct.
Okay.
What did you get, Sepin?
I'm sorry, what did you want me to roll for looking at the Ide?
You're looking at the Ide. What are you trying to pierce from him?
I'm just trying to physically see where he's at, what he's doing.
You notice that during dinner he's singing a song. You can and he's giving a performance, so you can try to analyze or survey his performance if you wish. That would
No
be
need.
performing.
No need. What's he doing? Just like general? Is he like juggling? Like what is this?
He's actually singing a tale of a well-known unicorn tale of the traveling song.
Okay, so he's talking about some gaijin shit that I don't care about. I'll wait till he's done, and I'll listen, act like I'm listening, and then I will ask Lady Mia if I can take leave for just a moment to go introduce myself to the Ide gentleman.
Okay. Are you paying attention to the song, or are you just kind of, oh, whatever, it's a song, I don't give a shit?
If it was a Rokugani song, I would care. But
It
I
is. It's
mean,
the traveling song.
it's a
It's a
trap.
traveling song of the unicorn.
Oh yeah, I don't care then. It's gaijin crap. I
Okay.
basically look at it like think of like rural America if somebody started singing some like Middle Eastern stuff like "Ah, la, 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 la," sort of stuff. Like Seppin just has like a distasteful look on his face.
You haven't done your like disadvantage or analyzed him, have you?
Not the Ide.
Okay. Well, his song does end. We'll go back to the room. So you spent your time, Sawa, assessing. You noticed that that Sumi Kotonchi, once that first course is done, she excuses herself. She is the captain, but she excuses herself, stating that she's going to make preparations for tomorrow's ceremony, and she leaves. Um, you also notice that the scorpion is looks like he's going out to the gardens, and he's going about his business halfway through after you've assessed the room and stuff. You notice that the Ide is singing a song of traveling, and he's very good, very good. And you notice that Seppin is making his way over. We'll start with the Seppin on this turn. What are you going to do, Seppin, as you approach the Ide after he finishes his performance after the first course?
I will say, hello, Ide-sama. I am Seppin Dojima.
Ah, Seppin Dojima, come and have some sake with me. And he kind of reaches down to grab some.
Thank you. You are quite a cultured man, Ide-sama. Do you play games?
On occasion I do.
Would you care to play a game with me?
Of course, what game would you have? We have time before the next course.
It's a special game that I play. You know, being a Seppin, being with the Imperial family, I have quite a knowledge of history and what's the word? Heraldry. I have quite a knowledge of history and heraldry. I like to find other people that I can test.
Ah, sure,
Is this
let
going
us
to be
do that.
Punch Buggy the Rokugani edition?
Are
So
you trying to engage him in what is this called? What would this be? A social duel, or are you what is it that
no,
you're trying to do?
not at all. There's not going to be a right or wrong answer. I am attempting some skullduggery.
Okay.
So I'm going to explain this game to him. You tell me how this is going to evolve. I'm going to explain this game to him. So it'll be rather interesting. It'll be enlightening. It'll tell us both a lot about each other. I will say a family name, and you say the first name of somebody in that family that comes to your mind. Could be the most famous person, could be your favorite person of a family. Maybe you have a historical interest in them.
All right. Let us sit. You do not need to stand for such a game. And he plops down on his side,
Oh, thank you.
pours you some sake.
Now, some of these will be rather obscure, and it might not necessarily be a family name and a first name. It might even be a title. Just say whatever comes to your mind. I don't want to put too many rules on it. This is an ice-breaking game.
Okay. He waits for you.
Okay, so I say Hida.
Casada.
Ooh, very interesting. I like that answer a lot. Okay. Shiba.
He thinks for a moment, looks over, and says, Shiba Atsuko.
I'll raise my eyebrow and say, oh, very interesting. This is interesting indeed. Okay. Rika.
Ooh, you bastard. Okay. It'll be a contested roll. It'll be sentiment on your part and skullduggery on his.
Okay.
What we're going to do is, to be fair, like you and I had planned out earlier in ours. I need to bring up this screen though, so I don't screw this up again. Click on the chat. Once you make your roll, I want you to input it, but not click it into the chat. And I'm going to click it into the chat. Now, everything matters. So if you got opportunity, let me know. If you have stress, let me know. But give me your totals, what you're going to keep. You don't need to tell me that it's an exploding. Just give me your totals. I will do the same.
And what did you want my check to be?
Yours is going to be sentiment. You're going to see if he's lying to you.
Okay.
If you want, because sentiment is what you're going to, you can do sense, which is void.
Yep. I'll do
analyze, which is air.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Or theorize, if you're theorizing what the hell he is.
I won't metagame it. I think sense was what I would use. Like Seppin is very he goes off of his instinct, so I think it would be void.
Okay. If we tie, if you had opportunity and I don't, the more opportunity will assist you and push you over because you're analyzing and getting more to him. Let me go. One. Okay. Are you ready? Hang on. Let me make sure I clicked it so when I hit enter, it hits. Not like I did that last game.
I've got him up. Just say go, and then when you say go, I'll hit enter.
Okay. Ready, set, go. Oh, you bastard. Oh, you're a dick. Okay. When he says, when you say Rika, he looks, you got it. He looks at the Akoto and turns and says, you've stumped me on that one. Is that a name of a famous poet of the Imperials? But you see his eyes glance over real quick. And back at you.
To the Akoto.
To the Akoto.
And I'll say, it was a very obscure one. It's very interesting though. Okay, let us continue. And then I'll say Bayushi, and I'll lead him through a few more because I don't want him to know that I'm stopping there necessarily.
He calls out Azu. He's the representative here, but he's probably spoken with. He answers pretty blankly.
Yeah, up until I won't bore you with the details. I'll string him along for maybe like 10 more minutes and give my side of it as well. I'm going to be very polite to him. My goal is to make an impression, and at the end of this, if this wraps up amicably, I want to ask him if he would join me for tea later.
Make it Saki and I'll be there, he says. But I may have a prior obligation depending on the time you wish us to do it.
What time is it? What time is it right now?
It's probably the sun had just set, so you guys are having your dinner and you've only had the first course. So you're going to be here in this scenery probably for the next couple of hours, and without being rudely leaving.
Would that be 8 or 9?
Probably 8. Yeah, 8:30.
8. Okay, so I'm gonna figure if he's gonna do something, it'll be in the castle. If it's gonna be something shady, it'll probably. I mean, I can't really sense the time on that. I'm just gonna guess a time here. I'm gonna say, how about 10?
Of course, 10 it is.
Does that give you enough time to take care of what you need to?
I believe so. I hope it does not inconvenience you on your duties. And he looks at the Mia.
No, I will definitely have my hands full. There's much I need to think about, especially with the change of the venue for the wedding.
Of course. Excuse me, but I see that the Shiva is available. And he bows out and heads that way.
Okay, I will go over to Asawa immediately.
As you approach the Asawa, you hear the Akoto kind of bang on the table and stand up. Sumi Takeshi, to his bright future. And she raises her glass. Others are slowly to raise theirs as well. Takeshi's eyes just follow her as she stands and gives this out.
So I'll come over to Asawa and I'll say, "Hey Asawa, I spoke with the Ide."
What you expect me to go? Dish, girl, dish.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly what I think, Mr. Fan. Mr. Where's his man? That's exactly what I think. Seven said.
I heard that one. I'll take it aside. I will definitely. You have my full attention at this point.
I'll tell you about the little game I devised, and I'll tell you his response. How he like nervously looked over to the Akodo. I'll say, I don't know what it means. I don't know if Akodo is somehow related to this Rika of the Pines, or if she is the Rika of the Pines, or she knows something about him. But there was some kind of connection there. He knew something.
Oh, here comes that painful honesty. That lion is nothing more than a loutish brute. How they ever got invited to this wedding is beyond me.
Yes, I agree. It's very offsetting. I suspect some kind of foul play too. Does this somehow, though, perhaps justify further investigation into the unicorn? Because there seems to be a connection now. He's somehow connected to that Akodo.
At this point, I think everyone's worthy of investigation. Short present company, of course.
Of course.
And as you guys are talking and doing this, the guests have mingled again. And as you come away, as your heads kind of come away, as you guys are conspiring, I guess for a better term, you notice that the Akodo is talking to Takeshi. You notice that the Shiba is watching, and almost tears in her eyes as she is watching. And then, for whatever reason, the Akodo kind of goes off into the gardens. Ito, who he is, the Ronin followers are out, and Takeshi's just standing there watching her leave. You see the bride kind of, and this is halfway through the night. Again, you guys come sit down to eat. You go back to socialize. You notice a lot of people are probably using this time to do their courtly maneuvers and set shit up. And as you guys have been talking, that's what you guys are noticed. As you guys have been talking, this is probably after the second course, as you guys have gotten together to discuss what you guys are discussing.
Sepinola say, so I after I finished up the little fake game that I played with him, I told him that I would meet him at 10 o'clock tonight for a cup of sake. I think I might be able to get more information out of him. I don't know if you want to try some angle on the Akodo.
Bad idea. In the world of bad ideas, this reaches up into the level of like stratospheric.
Well, I'm not saying go kick down her door, but maybe there's somebody else in the castle that might have some information on her.
At this point, I think the best thing to do is to view her interactions with the happy couple. Well, there has to be a reason they chose her to show up to this wedding.
Seppin thinks to himself, yeah, that makes sense. The Asawa skulking in the shadows like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but he doesn't say anything.
How do you know what the Hunchback of Notre Dame is? You broke your Gani.
It's an anachronism.
Love you.
Just you know what? Tolkien also didn't know what in Middle Earth they also didn't know what a train was, but it didn't stop Tolkien from describing the wind sounding like one. So,
or in the movies, them talking about menus.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. But anyways, I'm just busting your balls, anyways.
Trying to bust my balls.
Yeah.
As the party continues, and you guys get past the third stage of dinner, the host, the Lord himself, moseys on over to you. I imagine you guys are conspiring still each time something comes about. And Takeshi will come up and he says, Asawa, what is your first name?
Asawa, make sure that's Shohi.
Sohi. And Seppin Ujima? Son? I hope you are enjoying the festivities.
Indeed, they've been very gracious and quite excellent.
The Mia has told me you have an excellent ear for poetry. And my bride, turning to you, Osawa, says that you are a master of words. And he kind of looks at you both for half a second, as if acknowledging the outburst from earlier.
I look to Asawa and say, yes, I also hear Asawa is quite good at poetry.
Actually, if that's the case, and this will be funny, I want to do an event composition and try to fudge my way through this as I try to invent a poem right there on the spot.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Higher the better. I will say the TN is 1. More successes will do a better job. And you are doing, so you're going to invent. So it would be fire.
Okay. So I'm going to have 5 successes and an opportunity because I've got 3 strife in there.
What do you want to do with the opportunity? What would you like it to do? I mean, you could follow or come up with your own idea.
You know what? I'm going to use that to eat one of these strife because I'm getting really dangerously high on strife.
What is your current?
7 out of 10.
Ooh. Okay, you're able to do a very good haiku. He says, that brings me to my next point. That is quite nice, Asawa-san. But I am also writing a poem, and I'm working on the main character. The main character is haunted by his father's ghost, who demands that he finish his life's work. However, my main character, and he kind of takes a step in as if you three are conspiring. My main character wishes to leave his hometown to seek out his long-lost love, and is torn between his duty, he opens one hand, to his father, and opens his other hand to his desires.
Oh, Lord.
What should my hero do?
Seppin immediately says he should follow his duty.
Asawa is going to say the same thing. He should follow his duty, in so much as he can also follow his father's final wishes.
He looks. Go ahead and give me. It'll be a social. It'll be sentiment if you wish to push him onto that. You can use fire or earth.
Do fire, and I don't think I have sentiment. My mouse is locked up again because it's being a bitch. So give me a second.
I'll do fire.
Okay.
I really need to buy a rank in sentiment. Actually,
I
that's
got
not terrible.
1 success, 1 strife.
Okay, so I've got 2 successes, strife, and an opportunity. I'm going to use the opportunity to eat the strife.
Okay, you take it off of this roll.
Which will give me 3 successes because that's fire.
You notice that Takeshi kind of takes a moment, and you notice that both of you realize that his head wants to turn, and he kind of shrugs it a little bit down and says, of course, duty is the goal of every samurai. Duty is what we must. Anyway, I hope you enjoy my nuptials. My bride is quite blushing. It must be a trait of the phoenix.
Oh.
Seppin will smile like an idiot.
Well, I'm going to very subtly kind of drop my voice because I think I'm still close to this lion, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to say it's certainly not a trait of the lion.
Seppin will say, what was that?
If you will excuse me, as he bows out with a smile on his face. And when you say that to the lion, you see pain also in his face. And he excuses himself.
I'm related to this person he's marrying. Don't forget.
Seppin is gonna fuck with Asawa a bit, and he's gonna say, "Why don't I ever see you blush?"
Damn it! I had fucking soda in my mouth, you ass. But he is very much a. At that, he's actually going to blush a little bit as he pretends like he's kind of shy. Which, at this point, Seppin should know better.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Not for a minute.
And as the dinner winds down and the guests return to eat the final meals, Takeshi calls out again. You guys are now easily picking up there is tension between Takeshi, his bride, and the lion. The lion will stand up almost as Takeshi is excusing everyone for the evening. They may go about their business, continue to socialize, but he's retiring. She also gets up. And he, during the entire dinner, is not taking his eyes off her. And he kind of makes small chit chat, but his eyes are still focused during his conversations with his guest. To the lion. And as the party breaks up, what are you guys doing? It is about 9 o'clock.
Well, Seppen's kind of getting the feeling here like Takeshi was trying to get us to play into some sick desire he has for the actual lion herself. Like he's got this woman he's marrying. It was somehow to fulfill some wish from his father, and now this Akodo blows in here, and he's got some secret thing for her. I think that's the tension I'm feeling. So Seppen's picking up on another thread.
Very good. What about you, Asawa?
I being kind of young and naive, I'm not picking up on the same threads as he is, but I'm getting more and more agitated at this lion internally as their boorish behavior is just becoming more and more of a nuisance. When the lion is more boorish than the crab, you kind of want to choke them out.
I'll introduce myself to the lion, to the Akodo.
Okay. We can do that before, as dinner's winding down. Before she leaves, she'll stop and, Seppen-san, how's it going?
Greetings, Akodo, and I'll give her a gracious bow.
She bows back.
I'll say, it is going well. This was a very good dinner. I'm looking forward to the wedding, though I'm a bit disappointed that they have to change the venue.
I was sorry to hear that such a tragedy has befallen this castle shrine.
Now, what was the guy's name that's getting married? It's Takahashi?
Takeshi.
Takeshi. I'll say yes. Our host has been very gracious, though. This was my first time really meeting Takeshi or having an extended talk with him. Do you have much of a history with Takeshi?
No, but I was asked to come and represent the line. It is a auspicious occasion that the Phoenix and Crane are joining together at this time.
Yes. Pardon me for bringing that up. I'm a little bit insulated, I suppose, being at the capital. I forget sometimes what's going on with the clans. It must be very hard for you.
It can be at times, and I imagine being surrounded by the Crane and others of the softer nature may dull one's wits. But come, join me for some sake.
Seppen will think about that for a second and say, "Sure, I'll have some sake," letting the insult fly.
Very good. I'll give you 1 point of honor. She is of higher station.
And I'll say to her, but yeah, the Crane, they're not so bad. There's things that they create that are very pleasant. Look at some of the wardrobe they've came up with. Very magnificent looking. Because I am a fashionista.
You're a fashionista. That's awesome.
It's rather flaky and airy. I'm on more of durability and sustaining. Yes? Just I don't know.
Seppen will nod at that. Like he thinks that's a good answer. He'll say,
She pours you some sake.
I won't drink until she drinks first, but I'll nod and like pick it up and put it in front of me.
She drinks very delicately. She pours very delicately as well.
I'll say to her, sometimes I think the crane take for granted what other clans have to win for them. Courtliness, that is.
That is true. Their tongues seem to lead them in places that their bodies cannot take them.
Yes, that's my tongue is quite clumsy, but thankfully a Seppin doesn't need to have a great tongue, he just needs to have a fast sword hand.
That's understandable.
And I will lean in and say, but when it comes to a sword hand, I am very fast.
You get the smell of blossoms of perfume as you kind of go in closer to her. You know, you're about a foot or so away, and that kind of warps into you as if it was covered, but you're close enough to smell it upon her.
And then I'll pay a compliment. I'll say I was granted the honor of being able to study at the Akoto Bushi School as part of my Seppin training.
And I hope the Akoto College was all you anticipated it to be.
It was, and just between you and I also studied at the Kakita Dueling Academy, and I preferred the Akoto.
She'll smile at that, and she'll stop.
And I will then just like start chugging sake.
Dear God.
I've got to start drinking now because I'm going to drink later.
Well, at some point,
Oh,
at some point, Clay, I'm going to walk up behind him and I'm going to put my hand on the sake and kind of push it back towards the table and get him to save a little bit of face.
It seems that we are kindred spirits, she says before the Asawa makes his way over. She nods at that, and you get a look. How much sake? Tell me how much sake you've had over the course of the dinner.
I wouldn't have drank too much before. Maybe like somewhere around 3 to 5 shots worth of sake if you're measuring it in that metric. With her, once I started drinking with her, I would say I doubled that.
Okay, so you're feeling good, and she seems, as the Sawa gets closer, she seems to have moved a little closer to you. And something in the foggy part of your mind seems something's familiar about that, but you just don't get it. It seems that you and I are kindred spirits, Seppin-sama. And she smiles at you almost girlishly. Again, something is nogging at you. And that's when the Seppin, or the Asawa, comes in and pushes down your sake glass for you.
Damn it! The Phoenix cock block.
I want to know what it is with you and Butch and Lion people.
Well, she says, I must rest for the celebrations in the morning. It was good to meet you, Seppin-san. Asawa-san. And she'll stand up. Asawa, you know that she's not drunk, and she's probably been drinking with him for a good 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
And she walks away. You do see that Ito has now paid attention to you, Seppin, and Asawa as you approached her. He looks back at the head of the table, a little bit of sorrow on his eyes, turns to the two of you, almost a death-like glare. And it bothers you, this shark-like stare he gives the two of you. And then he turns and follows her out. It's some time that Takeshi has left. The lord of the castle has left to retire, along with most of the Phoenix delegation.
I tell Asawa, I go, and I'm a little bit drunk, just a little bit. I go, don't worry, Asawa. She didn't drink. I told her lots of things, but lucky for you and me, my closet's completely clean. And I give him a slap on the shoulder.
Asawa is like triple face palming. He grows an extra arm just to face palm at this. I'm just gonna say it. You're drunk, and you need to sleep it off.
No, this is the perfect condition to go meet Ide.
And on that, as you're kind of leading him off to kind of to go rest and what, the last thing you see of Sawa as you're kind of helping your buddy either go out and get some fresh air or whatnot is Ide watching him with a very eagle-like eye. And when he notices that you've noticed him, he smiles jovially and gives you a wave. And that is where we'll end tonight's game.
Christ. Andrew, one of us is going